Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So how long have you guys been in the XRP community? Jack the Rippler here posting this. Only long-term XRP holders like this post, and this is essentially the XRP charts since the beginning of time. You guys can see the dinosaur there. 2014 to present day, boy, have we been through a lot. And guys, I mean, when you're looking at it from this particular perspective, XRP retracing at the former all-time high. And guys, it's not the end of the bull run yet. So we still have some time to go. I know when you're not zoomed out this far, it kind of paints a more bleak picture. And especially if you're, if this is your first bull run and you have no idea what to expect, XRP did dip down to levels lower than yesterday. Yesterday, we were trading at $2.31 per coin. And today I woke up, XRP trading $2.17. So down by a little bit. And I know when you see this slow bleed, you think to yourself, oh my goodness, am I losing more on my portfolio? Guys, we are forming what is looking like a double bottom pattern. So hopefully on the shorter term time frame, XRP will break out of this. I mean, the entire crypto market is looking more fearful right now. Now we're in extreme fear because we have seen roughly another 5% drop for market cap and for volume. You guys can see market cap is down to 2.69 trillion, volume's down over 5%. Altcoin season, though, moving up a little bit. I think yesterday was at 14. Now it's at 18. But fear and greed, guys, at 17. So we haven't seen it in the teens for a very long time. And I have a feeling we know what the reason is for that. Bitcoin is down 4.7%. Ethereum's down 5.9%. XRP even took a hit, 6.39%. BNB coins down. Solana's also down. You guys can see most of these altcoins are down. Some even by double digits like Dogecoin. Pi seems to be a new one on the list. Number 11 now in the coin market cap. But guys, it's all a matter of perspective. Remember, if you have not been in this bull run for a very long time, maybe this is your first bull run, maybe this is your first year or 2 or 3 in crypto, well, you have a lot to learn still. I mean, when you get through a full market cycle, that is when you really start to learn a lot. Wrath of Kahneman posting this. I know it's not a great run for XRP price over the last few weeks, but it still is way ahead of 40 cents all year. So let's just remember that, okay? Let's bring up XRP here on the daily. And let's go back to this point in time here. How many of you guys remember this? We were fluctuating anywhere between 30 cents, give or take, let's call it 30, and 50 cents. So in that 20-cent range since June of 2022. You can only imagine what that was like if you weren't here at that point in time. And it pretty much took 875 days to break out of that trend. And guys, we've only been trending here for the last little while. It hasn't been that long. Only about 90, almost 100 days, so just over 3.5 months. Do not fret, guys. We still do have time for this bull run to get prices up even higher. And for more information on what I'm personally doing, Working Money channel, I'm keeping my portfolio transparent to show you guys what I'm doing during this bull run, what my targets are going to be, what my exit strategy is going to be. You can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel if that is something you're interested in. But anyway, wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman and, of course, Jack the Rippler for posting that. Now, Ali Chart's also bringing us an interesting metric here. Looking at XRP specifically, if XRP avoids closing below the head and shoulders neckline and breaks above the right shoulder instead, it could invalidate the bearish pattern. This move might trigger a bullish breakout towards 5 cents. So if we are to look just purely at the technicals, okay, we're looking at the right shoulder here, head and shoulder pattern. He has drawn a line down in and around here. And I would assume that line would fall in along the price range of roughly $2 per coin. I mean, if we're going to get rid of Wix, it's a little higher than that, so about $2.05. Okay, so we'll call it $2.05. And what he is seeing here on the chart, a massive head and shoulders pattern. Now, I don't know if I would, the technicals are right. If we do get below that level, that is not great. What we do really have to get up above, and it might take some time to do this, is this level up here. So that would be $3, roughly $3.02 per coin. No fear though, guys. There is a reason why we are seeing this at the moment. BRICS News bringing this up. Okay, Mark Carney to become next Prime Minister of Canada, replacing Justin Trudeau. So yes, this is the news that's stirring up the markets a little bit. Mark Carney wins the Liberal Party internal election and will become Canada's new prime minister. So the news, according to CCTV News, they reported the results of the election for the new leader of Canada's ruling Liberal Party, and they've announced Mark Carney as the winner, becoming the new leader of the Liberal Party, replacing the current Prime Minister, Governor Justin Trudeau, in his previous party position. According to Canada's political tradition, the leader of the ruling party will become the Prime Minister, and Mark Carney will also succeed Trudeau as Canada's new Prime Minister. It is reported that Carney advocates the creation of a unified Canadian economy, eliminating domestic trade barriers, increasing labor mobility, promoting a free flow of goods, and building interprovincial transportation infrastructure and new trade corridors. So for those of you guys who do not know, he used to be the governor, he used to be the governor for the Bank of England and the governor of the Bank of Canada as well. So he has been the head at two central banks. And so now he's the leader of Canada. Why are markets reacting so poorly? Well, we're going to get to that. Carney stated during the campaign debate that he had helped Canada throughout 2008's international financial crisis and that he was prepared to lead Canada through another economic crisis brought by U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs. So let's talk about the tariffs. Let's talk about what's going on macroeconomically and why it is shaking the markets, because it is tariff news. This news did spur on another downturn. As I'm recording this, markets aren't open. Traditional stock markets are not open yet, and it is we are going to be starting a new week. So what does U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick say? Okay, he's predicting there's going to be no recession in the United States of America. Global tariffs are going to come down. This courtesy of DGen News. Listen to this.
Anybody who bets against Donald Trump, it's like the same people who thought Donald Trump wasn't a winner a year ago. Donald Trump is a winner. He's going to win for the American people. That's just the way it's going to be. There's going to be no recession in America. What there's going to be is global tariffs are going to come down because President Trump has said, you want to charge us 100%? We're going to charge you 100%. And you know what they say? They say, no, don't charge us 100%. We'll bring ours down. We'll unleash America out to the world, grow our economy in a way we've never grown before. You are going to see over the next 2 years the greatest set of growth coming from America as Americans. You saw it, 1.3 trillion of new investment coming in America. Think of all those jobs. And remember, each trillion of investment in America is 1% of growth GDP. So Donald Trump is bringing growth to America. I would never bet on recession. No chance.
Well, that's a pretty bold statement. I don't know if he made this before Carney got selected to be the next Canadian Prime Minister. Wendy O posting this, is Canada nuking the crypto markets? This is Mark Carney from just this evening after he did win the vote.
The Canadian government has rightly retaliated and is rightly retaliating with our own tariffs that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impact here in Canada. And my government will keep our tariffs on until the Americans show us respect.
Okay, so it sounds like we are continuing with this tariff war. So what kind of implications is this going to have with regards to, well, the economy and all those other facets that get the markets going? Subjective Views posting this, the new Prime Minister of Canada is well aware of Ripple and XRP. So I'm not too sure if you guys know this yet. Over the years, I've done a few videos regarding Mark Carney in his role as the governor for the Bank of England and Bank of Canada. Listen to this.
The praises of the underlying blockchain technology. And that's why he's saying, look, they're reorganizing the very business of the Bank of England to allow what he called the genius of crypto assets, which is peer-to-peer transactions. We know, in fact, that they've employed Ripple. They've been working with the disintermediated ledger company Ripple to test out this sort of blockchain technology at the BOE. And they showed some sort of tests back in 2017. So he's willing to look at the underlying tech.
Carney is, in fact, willing to look at the underlying tech. So this one courtesy of Subjective Views. Subjective Views also posted this. How many remember when Mark Carney, former Bank of England governor and now slated to be the Prime Minister of Canada, said this: in a multipolar world, you need a multipolar currency. Things just don't happen. They are made to happen. Listen to this.
Give us the thumbnail. Why can't the dollar be the global currency?
Okay, the dollar is the global currency. We know that. The challenge is that the U.S. share of the global economy has been reducing. The dollar's share of payments, not just financial assets, but payments, a lot of payments between countries that have nothing to do with the U.S. are in dollars. And what happens in situations like we're in today, where the U.S. economy, to its credit, is relatively strong, is doing better, And the Fed has been doing the right thing, which is, they've adjusted policy, they tightened policy as it was strengthening. Now they're making, the Fed is doing the right thing, but they have adjusted and policy is relatively strong. That means rest of world policy is tighter than it needs to be. And that feeds back on the U.S. economy in a way that ultimately slows this economy. And it leads to a substandard outcome. And in a world where you only have limited policy space, it's a dangerous place to be. And so the trade issues we're talking about are reinforced by the structure of the monetary system. Now, I mean, you've asked a big question, so just give me a second to, but now the issue is you don't just jump to something new overnight. And what we want in a multipolar world, I think we'd agree that we've got European engine, we've got the Chinese engine, we've got the U.S. engine of this economy. Multipolar world, you need a multipolar currency. The question is, how do you get there? And I laid out some ideas of how you would get there.
And the bottom line, Governor, is that all of the pressure on the difference in growth around the world would not fall on the dollar exchange rate. Yeah. It would be spread out if it was a global basket of currencies.
It would be spread out as a global basket of currencies. It's better for the system as a whole. It's better. It raises that equilibrium level of interest rates.
Right.
It gives central banks more policy, but it gives people who are watching greater returns on their savings.
So a multipolar currency, not really getting into it in detail, but I think we know what he means, and the reason I say that is because, well, I've been doing some more digging. Bank XRP posting this, essentially a tweet thread here. Canada's new Prime Minister, and what he discusses here are some things that I've discussed in previous videos. So I'm going to go over some of this just kind of really quickly. A great tweet thread, by the way, if you guys want to check it out. I will link it in the description of this video. Mark Carney discusses the need for regulating cryptocurrencies in the future for digital forms of currency. So this was back in 2018. Bank XRP essentially just tweeting out some older tweets of his. The Governor, Mark Carney, was today appointed as the Prime Minister's financial advisor. So in 2020, he was advising Justin Trudeau. Just to make that clear, Governor Mark Carney is taking part as the Big Tech in the Future of Finance event at the World Bank and the IMF. So he does have connections with those organizations. The growing challenges for monetary policy in the current international monetary and financial system. So also, the BIS did report on this. Speech by Mr. Mark Carney, Governor of the Bank of England, Challenges for Monetary Policy, a symposium sponsored by the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, August 2019. We've got Bank of England, Mark Carney, dollar is too dominant and could be replaced by digital currency. So this all the way back from 2019. Again, a lot of these tweets go back quite a while. Ripple supports efforts to drive thoughtful regulation. Back from February 2017, last month, the Governor of the Bank of England and Chair of the Financial Stability Board, Mark Carney, spoke about the enormous potential of fintech, documented directly on Ripple's website. So this is where it starts to get really interesting. Mark Carney vows to reinvent the Bank of England for the fourth industrial revolution. We've also got Bank of England Governor Mark Carney has described the decline as financial abandonment. Bank of England Governor Mark Carney says central banks won't be left behind by fintech. There's another tweet here about the UN climate change initiative, which I don't want to get into. The Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson, has appointed Mark Carney as his financial advisor. So I'm sorry. So it was a financial advisor for the bank of, for Prime Minister Boris Johnson, but he was also advising Justin Trudeau as well during Trudeau's tenure as Prime Minister. Bank of England Governor Mark Carney admitted he is open-minded about the prospect of a UK digital currency to rival Bitcoin, once dubbed a Britcoin. So some interesting things here that Mark Carney has gotten behind. As you heard from that first clip, though, he understands the concepts. He understands the fact that the world is going digital. So these types of technologies are likely going to be at the forefront of government policy, at least in Canada, moving forward. The Bank of England is planning to rebuild its real-time gross settlement system so that it can interface with private businesses and platforms using distributed ledger technology. So now we're getting into DLT. The bank's Governor Mark Carney announced in a speech on January 21st, I believe that was 20 2018. So Mark Carney, Bank of England governor, the Mansion House. So we've got some more here, not directly associated with XRP or Ripple, but some of this stuff is in fact, and even Ripple did post on their website some of these posts that Mark Carney was mentioned in over the years. So guys, that brings me to this, a clip from a video I did 5 years ago. I made this on October 24th, 2019. Mark Carney suggests that one global digital currency should be used for world trade. Listen to this. Saw this from XRP Crypto Wolf. That's at XRP Crypto Wolf on Twitter. UK Central Bank Governor Mark Carney sees digital currency displacing the US dollar as the global reserve. He discussed a new international monetary financial system, IMFS. Carney suggested a digital currency supported by an international coalition of central banks. And so guys, Bank XRP posted this little clip here from Mark Carney from CNBC News, him talking to an interviewer about the whole thing. And I'm just going to summarize what he said here. So Mark Carney obviously heads up the Bank of England, used to head up the Bank of Canada, and this guy's a really smart guy. He's got a lot of influence in the financial world, and he ultimately suggests for various reasons that we should go towards global trade using a virtual currency, a digital currency, a cryptocurrency, in other words. He says that since the US share of the global economy is reducing, and since the US dollar is used in other countries, so for example, he doesn't use this example, this is my example. For example, China to Brazil, they will do trade and they will be using the US dollar for trade. It tends to affect other countries' trading policies because they are using the US dollar, which is obviously heavily tied to the United States. So if the US policy is strong surrounding trade, and the US policy is strong right now, the current government has been doing a great deal of work strengthening US trade policy. He essentially says that this will affect other countries, in effect tightening their policy, which I just mentioned. And what that does is it essentially will feed back to the US economy, and it will negatively affect the US economy because other countries' trading policy using the US dollar, and it's a lot to wrap your head around, but essentially other countries' trade policies will become affected because they're using a currency that is affected by the United States. Kind of a roundabout chicken and an egg problem. So trade issues are affected by the monetary system, and Mark Carney suggests that we can't just jump into something new overnight. We have a multipolar world, so we have many big countries now trading, China, Russia, Brazil, right? There are so many countries trading who have more power than they used to when the dollar first became the global currency. That he suggests now that we need to have a currency that the world can trade at where the trading rate is the same for everybody and doesn't affect any one particular country. So that could essentially alleviate some of the pressures on the US dollar as well. He says that there'd be less pressure on the US dollar, and what this digital currency would be is that it would be kind of a, let's use it again, level playing field. He didn't say that, but I'm saying that because I'm just putting two and two together here. A level playing field for the rest of the world to trade. Now, the interviewer suggests, well, if it were like a basket of currencies and we could take an average of all the rates, but that's not exactly what Mark Carney is saying. He is suggesting one digital global currency to facilitate trade around the world. So now I'm talking as Working Money Channel. If we use one single global digital currency to trade, guys, what is the most likely currency we would use? The answer to that is obviously, glaringly, XRP. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. And the reason, guys, I say XRP is because Mark Carney has mentioned XRP before. Now, this is another video I did about 3 years ago. I did this in June of 2021. Mark Carney interview slips up, naming Ripple, then cutting himself off. Listen to this. I also wanted to bring up this clip, guys, from Real XRP Boy here on Twitter. It was taken from a video that Darren Moore did on YouTube. Now, I will link the Darren Moore video in the description of this video. If you guys haven't seen this, I definitely suggest you do. Darren Moore, one of the great thinkers, one of the great researchers in the XRP community. So take a look at his video. It is 13 minutes long. Just wanted to play you guys this quick 12-second clip, though. Listen to this.
Wholesale finance opportunities. And so you see a lot of activity around that based off of Ethereum or Ripple, other currencies like that. And they may well have a role.
Did you hear him stumble? Well, maybe I should tell you guys who this is. For those of you guys who do not know, this is Mark Carney. Okay, Mark Carney. He's a Canadian economist and banker. He is the vice chairman and head of impact investing at Brookfield Assets Management as of October of 2020. And he served, this is the most important part, he served as the governor of the Bank of Canada from 2008 to 2013 and the governor of the Bank of England from 2013 to the year 2020. So he has served as the head of two central banks, namely that of England and that of Canada before that. And he's here on this panel discussing the use of cryptocurrencies. Just listen again.
Wholesale finance opportunities. And so you see a lot of activity around that based off of Ethereum or Ripple, other currencies like that. And they may well have a role.
I mean, he almost stumbles when he says Ripple. I almost feel like he knows what's going to happen, yet he doesn't really want to let the cat out of the bag. Does he know what's going to happen? Is he trying not to let the cat out of the bag? I mean, when you look at all the connections, his connections with the IMF and the World Bank, the fact that he was the governor of not one, but two central banks, both central banks, by the way, connected to Ripple, and XRP partnered with Ripple, actually. And not only that, guys, well, we know he's a puppet of the World Economic Forum, too, Mark Carney. There you have it. And of course, we know Ripple also a partner of the World Economic Forum. So, despite the fact that markets are coming down by a little bit, at the moment it's not looking great. However, guys, this market is going to rebound. We do have, a unified front here, at least sociopolitically, when it comes to the financial sector being modernized. Whether you agree with Mark Carney's politics or not, could he help usher in DLT technology, well, at least with the Canadian economy? Is this going to affect trade with the US? I don't know, guys. It's still up in the air. I'm currently treating this market as a spec market. For more information on what I'm doing this particular bull run, this could all change, by the way. Follow me, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel for more information on that. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.